Hello everyone, welcome back to Junius Geography with George. My name is George, and today we're going to be looking at how Democrats just ruined their chance at winning back Ohio's 15th Congressional District. Now, Ohio's 15th Congressional District is very interesting. Historically, it's been very Republican-leaning, but recently it's been expanded to include parts of Columbus and Grove City. This means it's still Republican-leaning, but it's more Democratic than it has been in a very long time. Also recently, on May 5th, the primary elections were held, in which the Democrats chose who was going to run in the general election for this district. And Don Leonard was elected. This means, in my opinion, that the Democrats in this district have effectively ruined their chance at winning this seat in November. Quick disclaimer, this video is purely speculative. Obviously, in November, we will see the results. Anything could happen. Don Leonard could win, or Mike Carey, his opponent, could win. We will see. But I do hope that Don Leonard does win, so that the Democrats can win back the House. So Don Leonard's opponent in the primary for this district was Adam Miller. He's a former state representative in Ohio. He's also a veteran, serving as a colonel in the U.S. Army and as the director for the rule of law. And he was deployed to Afghanistan twice, once in 2004 and once in 2020. He was also a lawyer, and all of this appeals to moderate Republicans and independents in the district. Republicans and independents highly respect veterans, and as a veteran, he would have the support of some more moderate voters. I actually canvassed with Adam Miller in March of 2026, as you can see from the images on screen, and he was very nice. He did, however, lose the primary to Don Leonard, but it was a very close race. It was a 53% to 47% race, with Don Leonard getting 23,572 votes and Adam Miller getting 21,005 votes. However, this does mean that Don Leonard got the nomination, and that could be a problem for Democrats. Here's why. Don Leonard is a very progressive Democrat. He was a professor at Ohio State University, and some of that stuff might alienate more moderate and independent voters. And while we haven't seen any of his ads against Mike Carey, we have seen his ads against Adam Miller in the primaries, and they were mostly negative, which, while some people argue that negative ads are more effective, this could also alienate former Mike Carey supporters that have backed away from his platform but might still respect him. Studies have also shown that negative ads typically reduce voter turnout, which would not be good for Don Leonard. He needs all the turnout he can get. Don Leonard also has major baggage on his campaign, as he was recently arrested at a No Kings rally. The charge he was given involved obstruction of justice and violating a noise ordinance. While some progressive Democrats might support that and say that he had a First Amendment right, many more moderate Democrats and Republicans might disagree. Criminal charges can easily be used by opponents, and that could be very problematic for his campaign. Also, in the Democratic primary, he did not focus on the rural voters. In fact, most of the rural counties elected Adam Miller instead of Don Leonard. However, Leonard did get the city votes. In this district, which is mostly rural, votes really matter, and if he doesn't focus on the rural voters, he might not win. If he doesn't focus on the rural voters, he would need massive city turnout, which might not happen. If he wants to win against Mike Carey in November, he needs to buckle down and focus on rural voters and turning out the city voters. In fact, 60% of the district is rural, only 40% is urban. Earlier, I broke down the numbers of what Adam Miller and Don Leonard got in the primary elections for Democrats. That added up to 44,539. Mike Carey, on the other hand, was unopposed, and he still got 39,218 votes. That is not good. If that many people specifically checked a box for an unopposed candidate, imagine how many are going to vote for that candidate in the general election when he is opposed. There's only a 5,000 vote difference there, which is not good. Now, some Democrats might not have voted in that specific election, but a lot of them would have, which, with those numbers, isn't good. Because of this split between rural and urban, and that very slim difference between Democratic primary voters and Republican primary voters, it's going to be nearly impossible for Don Leonard to win if he doesn't focus on the rural counties like Madison and Fayette that are in his district, which we don't know if he will in the general election, but he certainly did not in the primary election. Now, don't get me wrong, Don Leonard seems like a nice guy and a great candidate. I just don't think with his current strategy, he can beat Mike Carey in November. I look forward to seeing if he can prove me wrong, though. However, in primary elections, people usually choose ideological purity over general electability, which would be fine in this case if the district was mostly Democratic, but it's not. It's mostly Republican. This is why people really need to think about general electability in primary elections, even if the candidate isn't someone they necessarily like. Because if the Democrats want to make any change in Washington, D.C. this November, they're going to need to choose people who can win over moderate and independent voters. No hate to any of these candidates, by the way, whether it be Don Leonard, Adam Miller, or Mike Carey. That's going to be all for today. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more political videos like this, or more geography-based videos, make sure to subscribe. I usually upload twice a month, and you won't want to miss any of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.